Hello out there, all you keen historians, and welcome to another lesson of the Industrial Revolution using the Industrial Revolution teaching and learning website resource. Today we are doing public health and disease during the Industrial Revolution. We are starting lesson 1, so we're going to do an overview of the health problems and diseases during the Industrial Revolution in Britain. So you're learning attention and success criteria, so by the end of this lesson you need to know sanitation and disease during the Industrial Revolution in Britain. And you're to be able to, by the end of this lesson, you need to be able to understand and explain what diseases people had during the Industrial Revolution and why. So your first job, if you are learning along at home, is to click on this little video here, watch it, write down 3 facts in your notebook, and that is on the cholera crisis during the Industrial Revolution by history.com. Right, let's have a quick look at sanitation during the Industrial Revolution. Here we've got the famous Faraday giving his card to Father Tom's cartoon. So just reading from here, the population of urban areas grew so quickly that there was no time or effort put into developing quality infrastructure. The working class lived in back-to-back housing, which was called tenements, with no running water and dumped their waste on the street and in rivers, contaminating the drinking water. Diseases during the Industrial Revolution. So cities in Britain were extremely filthy, and as a result diseases killed many people, especially in the working class. Some of these diseases were cholera, typhoid, tuberculosis and typhus. In particular, they killed a lot of people in the working class essentially because of the overcrowding of people and then the lack of sanitation in the places that they lived, and running water and pipes as well. Just a quick look at cholera, probably the most prominent of the diseases during the Industrial Revolution in Britain. So during the Industrial Revolution, or during industrial Britain, there were serious outbreaks of cholera in the years 1831 to 1832, 1848 to 1849, big one in 1854, and then one in 1867. Cholera is caused when human waste contaminates drinking water, and then people drink it, obviously. The worst outbreak was in 1848 to 1859, where 15,000 people in London died of cholera. And then lastly, the reason people kept getting diseases such as cholera is because the river was their only source of drinking water, and they had no running water to move their waste from their homes. So, task 1 was to watch the video up here. Task 2 is going to be to answer these 17 questions here using the information in this website here. So we're going to go ahead and click on that link and open that one up. And let's answer these questions together. So, what are the 3 reasons diseases killed so many people during the Industrial Revolution? So, reading from here, diseases accounted for many deaths in industrial cities during the Industrial Revolution, with a chronic lack of hygiene, so that's one reason. Little knowledge of sanitary care is reason number 2, and no knowledge as to what caused the diseases, let alone cure them. So those are our 3 reasons. What causes cholera? Now we're up to number 2. I'll scroll down here. Cholera was a greatly feared disease. We are at the right bit. Caused by contaminated water, it could spread with speed and with devastating consequences. So it's caused by contaminated water is our answer for that one. What was the nickname that was given to cholera by the working class? That nickname was King Cholera because it felt that it ruled their lives more than the actual monarchy. Number 4, why did it spread so easily? Our answer for that is down here. So number 1, the cause was simple. Sewage was being allowed to come into contact with drinking water and contaminating it. As many people used the river water as their only source of drinking water, the disease spread with ease. So it contaminated the drinking water, and it was their only source of drinking water, and so that's why it spread so easily. Number 5, how many people died of cholera between 1831 and 1832? We have our answer here is 7,000 people, which is quite a lot in London alone. Number 6, what was the death rate of this cholera outbreak? So the death rate for that is 50%. So if you got cholera during 1831 and 1832 in London, there was probably a 50% chance you would die from it because there was a 50% chance death rate. What type of people did cholera impact the most? That answer is down here. The disease was usually affected those in the city's poor areas, so in particular that working class that slaved themselves away for 16 hours a day, though the rich did not escape the disease. So mainly poor people is your answer for number 7. Number 8, who developed a vaccine for smallpox? Here we have down here is Edwin Jenner, not related to the famous Jenners that we know today. Made the vaccine for smallpox. Number 9, what are the 2 reasons smallpox spread so rapidly? That answer is down here. So number 1, in the industrial cities, ignorant of the fact that Jenner had developed a vaccine, so they didn't even know that he developed a vaccine. So that is one of the reasons. And then also the overcrowded tenements of the cities caused smallpox to be spread quite rapidly. Number 10, how is typhoid spread? We go down here. We've got a paragraph on typhoid and typhus. Typhoid, I'm looking for typhoid, that's good. Was caused by infected water, and then typhus was carried by lice. So that's 10 and 11. So typhoid is spread by infected water, and then number 11, typhus is spread by lice. Number 12, what were people breathing in to give them tuberculosis? So we go down here. I'll read this paragraph here. The greatest killer in the cities was tuberculosis. The disease caused a wasting of the body with the lungs being attacked. The lungs attempted to defend themselves by producing what is called tuberculosis. The disease caused these tubercles to become yellow and spongy, and coughing fits caused them to spat out by the sufferer. TB affected those who had been poorly fed and were undernourished. It also affected those who lived in cities and damp houses. Tuberculosis can be spread by a person breathing in the exhaled sputum, so this gunk that builds up in their lungs, of someone who already has the disease. So that's our answer. Exhaled sputum. What a great answer. Who did tuberculosis affect the most? We've got, again, our poor people living in overcrowded tenements, back-to-back housing, and that's why it spread so easily. And I've already answered number 14 with that as well. So we've got poor people in the overcrowded tenements. The overcrowding caused it to spread very easily. Number 15, how many people did tuberculosis kill between 1800 and 1850? This answer is quite astonishing. It killed 1/3 of those who died in Britain between 1800 to 1850. That is an absolutely phenomenally devastating statistic. Killed 1/3 of all people who died in Britain in this 50-year period. That's a lot. Number 16, how did people during the Industrial Revolution believe diseases spread? Here, they believe they spread in poisonous clouds called miasmas, and this dates back to the Black Death during medieval England as well. So they thought there were just these poisonous clouds floating around, and they called them miasmas. So that's the answer for number 16. And then number 17, how did Edwin Chadwick cause a cholera outbreak in 1849? So you go down to this last paragraph here, and so it pretty much says that this guy called Edwin Chadwick was convinced that diseases was carried in the atmosphere by these foul smells, these miasmas. And so to get rid of the smells, what he did was he wanted to clean up the sewers. So what he did was that he would get rid of all the bad smells and therefore the disease, and then he dumped, well, not he by himself, but a collective effort, dumped 6,000 cubic yards of filth and human waste into the river. And of course, when you infect the main source of drinking water with human waste, you get a cholera outbreak. So he thought by getting rid of the smell, we'll put it in the river. Little did he know that that is what causes cholera. With 15,000 people dying of this. So very silly decision from Edwin, but I guess he didn't really know any better. So guys, after that you've got a Kahoot, and that concludes lesson 1 on public health and diseases. I'll see you guys next time for lesson 2. We're going to have a quick look at King Cholera. Please make sure you go ahead and subscribe if you want to stay updated to any of these lessons or any new websites that are made. And I'll see you guys next time.